the chrome, the beautiful chrome. Hey, it's me, Ciscoe Morris. Here's what's coming up on Gardening with Ciscoe. Have we got a type of bamboo for you? This kind will thrive, but not take over. Visit an Olympic Peninsula nursery that probably has the perfect maple for you and find out why Hendrikus loves this place. It's time to start preserving some of summer's bounty. We're pickling our produce today. Our plant pick is a tree that's got some unusual colors. Plus, find out what this trailer has to do with the future of urban gardening. All this and more is coming up right now on Gardening with Ciscoe. I'm Ciscoe Morris.
And I'm Meeghan Black. Welcome to Gardening with Ciscoe. I wish I could tell you where we were because I'm wondering where the heck. You send me the address, I show up to a parking garage.
This is Seattle's newest peat patch. It's on the roof of a parking garage at the Seattle Center. It's called UpGarden. Oh, la la. You know, it's only been going a month so far, but they already have all kinds of cool things up here.
It's a great idea. Now, peat patches are community gardens for folks who live in apartments or condos, or if you just don't have a garden, you live in an urban setting, and you like to garden with a bunch of other folks. It's a great way to meet gardeners.
Well, they've got a lot of room for plants here right now, but they wouldn't want to plant the plant we're about to show you, clumping bamboo.
I know why Ciscoe invited me over today. He needs to take out some of this crazy bamboo.
Oh, this is a hard job, too.
So what were you doing putting this in your yard in the first place? I thought you always told me to put it in a pot. No, and here you are in your garden.
This is clumping bamboo.
That's exactly what you told me to put in a pot. Do as I say, not as I do?
Well, you know, it makes the most beautiful screen. I love it. But it does get big.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't run. You'll never make your neighbor hate you. But, you know, in a spot where I want room for lots of plants, I don't want this to get so big.
Oh, that is so funny. So do we just dig out?
Yeah,
or
every year I take a clump out.
So how do we, I mean, because they run underneath, how hard is that?
It's pretty hard.
I guess I'm like, where do I begin? I don't know.
Well, why don't you start, see if you can slice in right around the edge out there. Right there, yeah. Yeah, there you go. All right. And what I'm going to do is just kind of cut right through here.
Okay.
So because there are going to be really tight, tough things in there that we're going to have to slice through on. Oh, man. There. Yeah, see, you know, I got to tell people, if you got an old pruning saw and it gets dull, don't throw it away. There are so many uses for these things. Hey, how's it going, Meeghan?
You're yakking. I'm almost done with this thing.
Oh, la la. It was all that hard slicing I did that got it free. All right, what do you think? Is it going to come up? Hey, hey. This is going to totally survive now.
Wow.
So, you can give this to somebody and you got a wonderful plant. For somebody that's got room for a plant that gets wider as it grows. And, you know, but boy, what a beautiful screen it makes.
There's nothing like the rustling of bamboo on a windy day. I love that.
You know what I love too? If you want it thick, you just give it some organic lawn food. And it's because it's a grass. But if you want to see through it, you just kind of go out there and
take out a couple here and there?
Yeah.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. Cut out a few and all of a sudden it's thinned out and you can see through it and, you know.
Well, very cool. Well, that wasn't quite as hard as I thought it was going to be.
No, well, and I did the hard part.
Yak, 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 yak.
All that hard slicing I did that got it free.
Surely you jest. $250 for a 4-inch pot?
What was a brand new one? Nobody else
feeling
had.
Okay, really?
And you know what? Now you can buy it for like 1/4 of the price. I've divided it, given it to 100 friends for free.
Really?
Friends? Oh, here we go.
One thing I do like about bamboo is you can get some for the sun, some for the shade, and you could give it to a friend.
Oh, la la.
Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from the UpGarden, a brand new pea patch here in Seattle where you can garden in the shadow of the Space Needle.
Is this cool or what?
Yeah.
Man, oh man. Hey, for our next story, you know, Hendrikus goes around, visits nurseries where they use as fertilizer and they sell as fertilizer. Well, on Olympic Peninsula, we use this opportunity to discover a great nursery that's off the beaten path.
Nice.
McComb Road's Nursery. Check it out. In the Dungeness Valley, the skies are almost always blue, and the foliage can be all the other colors of the rainbow, if you know where to look.
We have over 170 varieties of Japanese maples this year, which is not bad for a little nursery.
Yeah. Where do you keep them all?
Well, you'll see the rest of the
Okay,
nursery.
let's go check it out.
This is McComb Gardens, a great little nursery, and heaven if you're a Japanese maple lover. Co-owner Neil Burkhardt has a way with these trees.
Now this is the kind of maple I want for in my jobs. Nice character, not a pom-pom, you know, not shaved.
And this is a dwarf.
I know, it's
The
beautiful.
Tamagata.
Yeah.
Wonderful fall color, but
Yep.
big now, instant gratification.
That's what I always look for.
Yeah.
This 14-year-old nursery has been selling and using Hendrikus products for the past 4 years. This is the first time Hendrikus has visited, and he's doing exactly what most folks do here.
People come here and spend time. It's not your drive-by nursery where you're going to pick up a six-pack of geraniums on the way home. They come here and they spend time going through the gardens and maybe spend a couple of hours here. We love it.
Formerly a Navy seaman, Neil started McComb Gardens late in life.
It's a passion. It's a passion. I did a career change 16, 17 years ago and went to Hort School at the age of 52 and just got hooked. And this all of a sudden wound up with a nursery.
Over the years, this place has grown, but never lost its character. A winter interest garden designed and planted by Dan Hinckley 4 years ago is well established. And then there are those maples. There aren't many nurseries this size with a selection this big.
I think the nursery is incredible to begin with, you know. I was just complimenting that it's really well kept, you know. So if I contributed in that with our fertilizers, that makes me even more happy. He's doing an awesome job.
Thank you, Hendrikus. It's nice to hear that from a fellow nurseryman and a pro.
He's doing a great job.
Like 14 years later, we're still doing it, and we still have a passion for it. And I don't figure on retiring because I really like it. I like it.
So I gotta admit, McComb Road Nursery is a little out of the way, but if you're over in the Dungeness Valley, it's really worth a visit. And then you can go hike the Dungeness Spit. Oh, that's so
That is
fun.
your favorite thing to do.
That is.
Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from the newest pea patch here in Seattle. I gotta say, Ciscoe, I have never seen a garden shed quite like this one. Isn't that awesome?
It is so cool. 62 Airstream. Built the same year as the World Fair here
How
at
about
the
that?
Seattle Center.
It
You know,
too
what
is
a
50 years
tribute.
old.
But
Yes.
hey, guess how they got it up here?
I don't know.
They had to use a big crane to stick it up on the roof.
Oh my gosh, it's pretty cool, Noel. I absolutely love it. Well, speaking of all things retro, I hear you were kind of doing a throwback to the 60s and doing a little pickling in the kitchen with Lynne.
Yeah, hey, pickling is trendy now. Even the young folks are doing it. You got a big garden, hunt around in your garden because you're going to be able to pickle some cool things.
We're going to do some simple pickles today. Nice.
I am ready. My grandma always wore an apron whenever she pickled. I found a pretty nice one, if I do say so myself.
I'm sure your grandma would be proud. Let's get going, shall we? Let's make some pickling brine.
Oh,
what do you
I'm
say?
ready.
Okay. So what I like to do is just this time of year, all these gorgeous things are ready to be put up into jars. So we just start with sort of a simple, basic pickling brine, and then we can kind of add a little bit later on.
Okay.
So So what we've got here is some salt. Well, what I've got in here is some vinegar. And you can go with cider vinegar or white wine vinegar, whatever, flavors you like. So we're going to salt that up pretty thoroughly and just a little pinch of sugar in there because I like a little bit of sweetness to it. And then to make it incredibly simple, this is a pickling blend, pickling spices that we sell at PCC in our bulk bins. Okay. So you don't have to buy a whole bunch of different things. You just get these. So options. You can either dump these in and then strain them out later, which is what we're going to do. Or we've got these darling little tea bags. And you can just fill them up with the spices. Oh, cool. And then just sort of, cut them shut. And then you just throw that in there and then you can pluck it right out.
But you like doing it.
I kind of think it's pretty like that. Is what I like,
cool.
Yeah. Anyway, so this just goes on for a simmer for a few minutes, and it gets all infused and delicious, and then we'll put our pickles together.
Oh, this is easy.
I know it is easy. Okay, so we've steeped all of our wonderful spices, and so I'm just gonna. So now, when you make pickles, I just have to warn you, your house is going to smell like cinnamon and mustard, but a little bit like vinegar as well. So, got to kind of get used to that. Let's put our pickles together.
Oh, boy.
So what we're going to do is we're going to build layers of whatever vegetable we love. You've got cucumbers, I got carrots.
I want the cucumbers.
And I've got some fun little things in there, and I'll let you kind of describe what you're doing as you go.
Oh, great.
And then once you get it packed nice and full, then we'll pour our brine over it.
Oh, boy.
Okay, so you go for it. And
okay, well, I'm just going to start with a few. I'm later in this guy,
Nice.
Okay, I have to have a hot pepper. Yeah. I love spicy. Okay, get in there, Charlie. I want everybody to see that. So I'll put a couple of
so you're going for the artistic.
Yeah, and of course we got to have a.
So they can see what's going on.
Oh yeah, and I got to have a bay leaf in there.
Nice.
Okay. I know it's going to be strong. But I got to have a second one of these over here. Got to have some dill in there. Stick that on this side because that's going to look really pretty. Hey, do you think I can cram another one in there?
I think you might as well. Speaking of cramming, okay, you do want to pack these jars pretty tight because when you pour the salted vinegar over it, it shrinks the vegetables a little bit. So that if you don't have it super full, they end up kind of floating at the top. So you can afford to really,
It's just like doing a container garden.
Exactly.
The more the better.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I'm for that. Wow, is this fun? Okay, I'm seriously cramming here. All right, one more garlic. Why not? Ooh, is this going to be good? Oh, man.
You can just kind of lay that across the top. See, you've got lots of room.
Okay,
you might as well go for it.
Okay, one more on the top, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, man, look at how beautiful. Look at that pepper by that garlic.
That's gorgeous.
Ooh, I like that. Bay leaf there. Oh, man.
Okay, so let's pour some the brine over it. And this is when you kind of see how it's going to look. This is kind of the reveal part I love.
Ooh, I'm so excited.
And you want to pour the brine into up to about 1/4 of an inch from the top. We got a little bit full, but that's okay. Who cares?
Otherwise, it just
and you want to make sure that all your vegetables are covered in brine. But what'll happen here is those will get soft in just a second, and we'll push them down.
Okay.
So, and that's it. And then we'll put a lid on. That is gorgeous.
That is beautiful, if I do say so my humble self.
Let's do a few more. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put these in a water bath. We'll process them for about 10 to 12 minutes.
10 to 12 minutes. So in the water bath, is it boiling water?
It will be boiling water, 212 degrees.
All right.
Yep. So those have come out of the water bath.
Ooh, that's the one I did. That one and this one.
Oh. No, these are still really hot, so you're going to have to let those cool.
Ooh, yeah, boy, are they pretty, though.
I tell you what, I do want you to take some home, so I'll trade you. Okay, I'll trade you these.
It's a deal.
I'll give you this one.
That's got the hot peppers. Yeah. Well, you know what? There's another reason why everyone that pickles should wear an apron. There's another kind of cramming we do here. Hey, you got any more?
As much as you want.
Oh, boy, thanks. Welcome back to Gardening with Ciscoe from UpGarden. This is the newest and the coolest pea patch in Seattle, up on the roof of a parking garage on Mercer Street.
Look what they got. still have Birkin.
How about that 60s Ford Galaxy? And look at the color on that.
I was going to say, that's my color. You know, earlier in the show, we took you to a nursery that specializes in Japanese maples. Well, that inspired us for this plant pick.
Yeah, and you know, Japanese maples, they come in all different colors. But if you can't make up your mind which one you want, this is the one for you.
So I got sick and tired of this spot in my garden, and look what my husband did. Got to give him credit for it. I did not do it. Dug it all out. How about that? Brand new soil. We're starting with a clean slate. How many times do you get to do that?
How'd you find that guy?
I know. I am the luckiest gal in the world.
And I envy you all this open space.
Now it's mostly shade in here, and I want to start with an anchor, and so I called Ciscoe on the phone from the nursery. How about that? So what do I get? And of my choices, look at this. It's a butterfly. What's it called?
Butterfly Japanese maple.
Butterfly. Butterfly with this red twigs in here and the beautiful variegated foliage. But I'm noticing this leaf here. It's getting a little dark. Don't tell me it's going to revert at some point.
These do revert. They send out big green branches. They make way more food than these variegated leaves. Right. So you got to cut those off whenever you see them. But there's some color in this, so that's okay. That's not a mutation.
Okay, well, why don't you get the hole going, and I'll start trying to get him out of the pot.
I always end up doing all the work
except
all
for the
time.
fact that
I'll tell you what.
I was going to say getting him out of the pot was going to be difficult.
Yeah, that looked like a rough job, let me tell you.
Okay, I'll work on his roots.
You know, when you're starting a new landscape like you are, you always start with your tree because, you know, you do the hardscapes if you're going to put a pathway in, anything like that, and then you pick a tree because you can work around that. You don't want to have to work around a bunch of annuals or perennials when you're planting a big tree. And pick trees carefully. Yes. Because, you know, you don't want to have to dig this out in 10 years because it got way too big or something.
I know, you know, it's only been 7 years since I've replanted this last time, so.
Wow. And interestingly, I read the tag and it says 7 feet.
And it's already 7 feet.
It's already 7 feet tall, and I've seen them over 15, so.
Okay, so what's his good side? I think that's his flat side, so we're going to put that.
Looks like the side to
you know what, I need a little more soil.
I got to dig it a little deeper, don't I? I'll be darned. More work.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's plenty. Put him in the ground. Now, I have to be careful with watering, particularly this time of the year, don't I?
Yeah. When you plant a new tree like this, you really want to keep the soil moist until it really sets good, deep roots.
Okay.
Even 2 years, you got to really watch your water. Oh,
he's kind of twisty. He doesn't know what he wants to do in life, and I like that.
You know, and I think the best thing to do is not be too eager to over prune. Now,
I don't want to prune at all, do I?
Well, you know, this guy is flopping around so bad that I think it'd be worth doing this. Don't look, Meeghan.
Ouch.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Yeah, and so let's just balance it out.
I thought you said no pruning.
Well, the thing is, here's what people do wrong. Whoops, I make that cut better. Here's what people do wrong. They don't like how they get all bunchy here, so they'll cut something back. They'll cut the ends off. Then they just sprout out. But this will make it more even and more attractive in the long run. So
I like his whimsical nature.
I do too. All right, I promise I'll stop right now.
Keep
after
your
one
mitts
more,
off my
after
butterfly.
One more quick cut.
We've had such a great time exploring the new pea patch here, UpGarden, and Scott Mills, a volunteer here, joins us. So people, if they want to get involved and garden here, they still can?
Yes, they can. All they have to do is contact the Department of Neighborhoods, and volunteer hours all count, and then you can get one.
Plant your plants, not bad.
Really cool. Hey, so tell me about the giving garden.
Well, the giving garden is if you have a mother that gave you a plant that you just don't have room for it, but you'd like to plant it and take care of it, then you can do it here, because this whole area back here is all giving gardens.
And what do you do with it?
Yeah, if you plant food, then you give it to the food banks?
We can give it back to the food banks and to all the community.
Oh, cool. Well, I want to give the first plants for the giving garden. Look at this. It's a beautiful tomato. You'll love it. It's a really good one, but this is the best of all. Brussels sprouts. Oh, la la. We got to keep those people that go to the food bank good and healthy.
Well, thank you very much, and we'll put them to good use.
All right, cool. Hey, I want to go see that Airstream over there. You got to go in it. I haven't even been in it yet.
Go for it. We'll put a link to the Department of Neighborhoods at king5.com. Have a great weekend. Let's go look.
Bye, everybody. Oh, I got to see that.